thought I made this video already, but I'm going to show you how we're going to calibrate a Tuttnauer sterilizer. The tabletops, whether it's an Easy 9, Easy 10, 3870, whatever, they're all the same. Same calibration. So, first step, these units, the 3870s are all 230 volts. So make sure you're getting, 230 within range of that. Because if you're plugged into a 110 outlet, you're going to have issues all over the place. So, start with the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Check the obvious shit. There's a sticker on the side of the unit. Right here. To confirm, 230 volts. There you go. Okay? So start there. Now, to do the calibration, first thing I like to attach a gauge. If you're using the automatic unit, you really don't need to pipe in with the gauge you get provided in the Tuttnauer kit up here. It's annoying, and it's just 2 more points that could leak now. So I take the mid-mark gauge, that way you don't have to travel with multiple gauges, and just tee in. Same pressure sensor mid-mark has, just this one is plugged in versus being soldered to a board. So I just tee in, there you go. Now I got my gauge so you can see what's what. Next step is your adjunct board. This is an adjunct 3, as you see there are 3 pops. So we're going to plug in right here. Now using this kit we got from RPI, part number, as you want it, Tuck 108. And inside you will find a gauge to tee in with. You see the same gauge, just this fitting is different, so it doesn't matter. This guy is just a tiny little flat blade screwdriver for adjusting the pots. I'm sorry, I can't get a close enough picture for you to see what it looks like, but you know what a flat blade screwdriver is, you know what this is. It's just tiny. Thermometer, which I think these things are garbage. I never have any luck with this. You gotta throw it into the chamber, and then when you take it out, it's gonna be fucking hot, and it's hard to handle. And as soon as it starts cooling off, the number's gonna change. Whatever. This is your little board, your test point board. It's gonna plug in right here. And the purpose of this is, it's a lot easier to block your leads from your multimeter into these test points than it would be trying to hold it on the different pins and different components. So, to make that easy for you. And if you're gonna do a temperature calibration, you need what's called a PT100. This is just a box full of resistors. Because if you know anything about how thermometers work, you would understand that all it's doing is reading different resistances that are programmed into the board. It knows that this resistance, this is my temperature, this resistance, this is the temperature, yada yada yada. So this little box does that for you. Okay? So the first calibration we're gonna do is temperature calibration. Set your meter to voltage DC, direct current. Everything we do in the calibration is VDC. So, should I put this somewhere that's going to be stable, where you can see it as you're calibrating, and then it isn't going to fall down. It isn't going to be a pain in the butt to see. There we go. So, now we go to put your negative probe on test point 25, positive probe at test point 26. Put it on your PT100, set that to 32 Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius. And we should be seeing negative 0.005. So it's supposed to be 5.1 millivolts. I don't know who's got a meter that goes out to more digits than this, but the way I do this is I'll get it to the 4, and then I'll just slowly go up to 5 and a hair more, and about 5.1. So take this guy again, a little screwdriver. You're gonna go to pot or potentiometer number 4. Obviously you can't see in here, so there's another board. Show you, whoop, there we go. So you can see 1, 3, 2's up here on the top right, 4's on the left, and then that's 5 down here. See, pot 5. So you're gonna go to the middle one. That's nice when it visual aids. And we're gonna adjust this. Now, when these are new, they come with a little bit of wax on the adjustment screw. So sometimes you gotta scrape it out. This side is good for that, if you need it. If you don't, great. Now, I'm on, and we're gonna adjust. Oops. This one had a little overheat damage. You see the blackness there. Anyway. Okay, so now, right now I'm at -3, so we're gonna go counterclockwise. Just saying. So, right. That should be good. Go here more. So that should be -5.1 millivolts or -0.005. Next test, we're going to go to 273 on the PT100. Your dial all the way. Now we've got to move our test points to 1 and 7. So negative on 1, your positive lead in test point 7. Now these little guys are kind of annoying to push. You can use your probes, but you can't do that to 1 because once one's locked in, you can do it. So another good thing with this little guy is pushing these down. Okay. So 1 and 7, we are looking for 2.385. Now we're bouncing around, which is not good. It's leading me to what I thought it was going to be, where this is damage to this adjunct board I'm going to have to replace. Let's move this down here. Hammering easier. Okay, let's go light. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, we're going to go to pot 5 to adjust. Got to work with these camera angles. Okay. So now, numbers are all over the place, aren't they? To the stable. It's for the jump, right? I mean, I'm not crazy. Yeah, no, we have a bad board, so that's got to get replaced. But anyway, 2.385 would be the number we're looking for. We're sitting there right now. I'm just going to carry through this, even though we know I have to replace this board. So the next test is going to be our pressure calibration. Now, you're going to move this test probe from test point 7 to test point 4. Here we go. So now we're in 4, and this is where we use the next pot. All right, so for the pressure now, we're at 1 and 4. We're looking for 500 millivolts. Clearly not there. So that's going to be pot 2, the top one right here. Now again, this is all for an adjunct 3 board. If you only have 2 pots, then you have an adjunct 2. Or something's damaged it and knocked one off, and you have to replace it. Anyway, those are different values of numbers. You look at the manual or ask me, I'll tell you. I don't really get many adjunct 2s in here. Now, I cannot adjust this at all. Because again, this is bad. So anyway, I'll be going from here counterclockwise until I have 500 millivolts. And that would be the calibration. If you need to zero it when you turn the unit on, so when you turn the unit on, hold the door switch. This guy right here, then give it power. Hold it down for a little bit, and with the door open and you're holding that switch, you should have 0 PSI up here on the front. That's it. Alright, I replaced the adjunct 3 board. I'm not making a video for this. This is the adjunct board. Best way to replace it. Player connectors, just remember who goes where, on the front, on the back. Shouldn't really be that hard to figure out. Pull this whole front off, just a screw on the bottom and a screw on the top. You can pull that out, and then you have better access because you have a little screw over here that holds this ground wire on, holding this corner, and then the other 3 corners, these little plastic guys. With a really long needle nose, you could reach in there to get the bottom and the top one. Otherwise, they're difficult, so it's easier to take this thing off to get to it. Anyway, I just went through the calibration again. We'll just start with pressure instead of temperature. So right now we're 598. It's too high. Remember, we want to be 500 millivolts. So let's go clockwise to go down. And there we are. Boom! And it's holding. We're already doing way better last time. Next up, let's go. Temperature calibration backwards, 273 we'll start with. Alright, we'll move our positive lead from 4 back to 7. Now, even though I'm going backwards, it doesn't make a difference on this. I like to do everything, go through a second time on each lead to verify that none of my adjustments have caused anything else to go out of whack. So let's remember now. So for the 273 Fahrenheit temperature setting, we want to be 2.385, and that is pot 4. This bottom right one here. So I'm going to go clockwise to go up. Boom, on the money. And then the first temperature one was 32. See, there we go. And now we want negative 5.1 millivolts. So, why are you seeing this number? Because those aren't the test points I'm on right now. So let's move this again. Okay. So we say 26 gets our positive. Can you see anything in there? And our negative goes to 25. Boom, there we go, locked in. Alright, high, so let's adjust that. That is pot 2. The little guy in the back. We can get to him. There we go. Oh, okay. Now, going clockwise again, I go down, so number 4. Small, gentle tweaks. 5. Alright, we're thinking about negative 5.1. Remember, I like to double check things. So now that we know our 32 Fahrenheit setting is at negative 5.1 millivolts. Let's go back to our 273. And you're setting the span and the 0 on this. So if you've ever seen a graph, an XY graph, you got to set 2 points so you know where your slope is, where your line is going. So 1 and 7. 273. See, we are off. So now we're going to adjust this one here again. Alright, sorry, not on it. Okay. So counterclockwise. Boom, 2.385. Since we're doing that one, let's go back and check our other number. Sometimes you just got to keep going back and forth. Here's a little line, measure twice, cut once. That's what Freddie said. Okay. Alright, back to there. Bada bing, bada boom. Solid. Let's go double check our pressure one more time, just for shits and giggles. Still right there. Perfectionist or anything, but let's just go tweaky now. Alright, we're solid. So this adjunct board looks good. As long as the values hold. Now, let's lock this bad boy in place. Since it is good. 1, 2, 3. That's the calibration. Now, run a cycle. Now, with the PT100, there's another way to do some of this instead of just looking at your meter. A little way they like you to prove things are working properly. You can go into the in-out mode settings, and there's a PT100 setting in there, and you can check to see if when you're on 273, it says 273. But we're gonna run a cycle and see what's what. All right, good luck out there.